So I did this mountain bike ride the other day that I'm still kind of processing. We started out in Teglio, which is this ancient little town right in the heart of Valtellina. Honestly, the second you roll in, everything just slows down. It's all old stone, weathered wood, and this really heavy, peaceful silence. Before we even clipped into the pedals of our bikes, we just stood there for a minute to breathe it all in. Teglio is actually famous for being the birthplace of pizzoccheri pasta, and if you've been watching me on this channel, you know that I love pizzoccheri. But there's more to Teglio than just pizzoccheri. The whole place just oozes medieval charm. Now, right above us was the Santa Eufemia Church, which has been looking over the valley for centuries. And then you've got the iconic Teglio Tower standing there like this giant guardian. We started rolling and passed right by Palazzo Besta, this gorgeous Renaissance place, and then it just hits you how much history is buried in those hills. A little further along, we hit this tiny, incredibly calm lake called Laghetto di Sommasassa and a peaceful little church named San Gottardo. But then we left the town behind and the road just dropped really fast. We flew past another little church, San Lorenzo, as we descended deeper into the valley. We were passing these tiny old stone villages, and every single one of them had a front row panoramic view of the valley. The whole landscape just cracks wide open. Vineyards, ancient stone terraces, and layers of mountains that just kind of fade away into the distance. We followed the road up toward Dalico, which is this tiny village. It's kind of perched perfectly above the valley, and it has this insane, unbelievable view of the Arabic Alps. Now, I have to tell you about this fresh snow had just touched the peaks, so it leaves this sharp, thin white line right at the top. It feels like you are watching the seasons change in real time. And then the ride completely shifted. We cut off the asphalt and we dove straight into the forest, my favorite part. Pure single track, narrow trails, exposed routes, total silence. Except of course for the sound of our tires digging in and our own breathing. It was just pure energy. As we were reconnecting back toward Prato Valentino, I caught this sudden flash of movement in the sky. I looked up and OMG, I love this part. It was a hawk just gliding effortlessly right above the tree line. I tried to grab my camera, but it was gone. A second later, it was just gone, but it was so cool. We finally broke out into Prato Valentino. It's, how shall I describe it, this massive alpine plateau, completely open, incredibly green and just alive. And I swear to you, we look over and there are these two alpacas. Yeah, alpacas, just casually grazing, totally ignoring us. It felt completely surreal. That plateau is actually the base for the winter ski area and the mountain refuge. You know, in Italian we call them refugios. It looks like a beacon out in this open landscape. There's nothing else around. We went inside, got some warm food, and of course had the traditional pizzoccheri made exactly by the traditional rules. And before we headed out, we walked over and rang the small church bell nearby. Simple little thing, but it felt like a nice way to close the day, close the chapter of this climb. And after that, well, it was time to descend. We dropped back into the woods for the final stretch, and honestly, it might have been the best part of the whole day. No noise, just the trees, the wind, the rhythm of the trail. You could smell the damp forest soil in the air. Everything else just faded away. I have to tell you this. At one point, a deer flashed between the trees for a split second. It was so fast that the camera didn't even catch it. And then it was just silence again, just me and the bike, just pure riding, pure connection. And so from there we coasted all the way downhill, right back into Teglio, exactly where we started and where the whole loop came full circle. You've seriously got to try this particular trail.